Transcript. She scoffed at my wedding photo, called me worn out. He laughed. She's just teasing. He thought that would be the end of it, that I'd swallow the humiliation like I always did, polite, composed, predictable, but I smiled instead, just enough to hide what flickered behind my teeth. Because teasing wasn't what it was conquest, and she wanted me to hear it. That was the moment I stopped being the wife and started becoming the story she'd regret. We met at one of his firm's events, her in a sharp navy dress, me in the quiet beige of someone who used to believe in safety. She was new, clever, too quick with her compliments. "You're so lucky," she told me, eyes locked on him, not me. "He talks about you all the time." I believed her for a while. Then came the small shifts, the late meetings, the muted calls, the scent on his shirts, not perfume, but change. You can feel it when love begins to look at you differently, when silence stretches longer between sentences, when your husband's laughter sounds like it belongs to someone else. I didn't confront him, not yet. Instead, I watched, noticed how his phone tilted away when he typed, how he started wearing cologne on Wednesdays, her team's presentation day, how her lipstick shade, crimson dusk, began showing up on his collar. The universe doesn't hand you proof, it hands you patterns, and I was good at connecting dots. When the truth finally showed itself, it wasn't dramatic. A simple notification on his iPad, the one he left unlocked on the table, a message, her name at the top. "I love waking up to your voice." She doesn't know how lucky she was. It was almost merciful how quiet the moment was. No screaming, no broken glass, just the sound of something inside me shutting off permanently. He came home later that night smiling like nothing had changed. And that's when I knew if he could pretend, so could I. So I did, for 6 more weeks. I let him think I was distant because of work. I let her think she'd won. Meanwhile, I gathered not evidence but leverage. The house in my name. The savings account split quietly months before. The firm's partner I'd helped secure an investor now on my side. I wasn't going to throw a fit. I was going to build a finale. The day I mailed the canvas, I chose Venice for a reason. It was her favorite place. She'd once told him she'd never been, that it was her dream honeymoon destination. So I made it mine, a photograph. Me in a gold dress, champagne in hand, leaning as another man, her ex of all people, kissed my cheek. The smile on my face wasn't joy. It was closure disguised as celebration. And around my neck glinted the necklace she once wore, a trinket from him, now a symbol of exchange. I sent it to her office, framed with a simple note, "Thank you for the recommendation." She cried in the kitchen, they said. Couldn't face the team for the rest of the day. I imagine she finally understood what it feels like to be replaced. But the real performance came later. He found the photo on social media posted by a friend of a friend. His voice trembled when he asked, "Who's that?" I looked him dead in the eye and said, "He's just teasing." It hit him then, the symmetry of it all. Every word, every wound returned to sender. He called again, then nothing. By the time he realized the accounts were empty, that the house was legally mine, that the firm's investor had withdrawn from his project, I was already gone. Venice had been more than a photo. It was my escape route. I'd set up quietly, a job, an apartment, a name that didn't come with his shadow. When he finally tracked me down months later, he looked smaller, like regret had hollowed him out. He stood there clutching the printed photo I'd once mailed, now creased, worn. "Why him?" he asked. I smiled. "Because she loved him before she met you." He laughed once, bitter and empty. "You really got us both." "No," I said softly. "You got yourselves. People think revenge is fire, loud, reckless, consuming, but it's not. It's precision. It's silence sharpened into a blade. I didn't ruin their lives. I just handed them the mirror and they shattered on their own reflection. Sometimes I wonder if she still works there, if he still glances at that empty desk, remembering the woman who mocked a wedding photo and the wife who smiled at planning everything in that single breath. Because here's what he finally learned. You can replace a person, but you can't replace what they know, and I knew everything. She scoffed at my wedding photo on his desk, called me worn out.